Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello and welcome to the informal chat at ETF. I'm the director Pilvi Torsti and this is In Conversation With. Today I have a pleasure to have a very special guest who has traveled here for 30 hours to be with us. Andriy Chesnokov, Deputy Minister of Youth and Sport in Ukraine. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Pilvi.
Our guest has a very remarkable position, of course, at the moment. But before being the Deputy Minister for Youth and Sport, he has also served as the Deputy Minister for the European integration in Ukraine. And when preparing for this session today, we did figure out that he has also served as the President of the National Organization for Scouts in Ukraine, that I noted particularly as a Finn, because in Finland we really care for preparedness. And I believe being a scout is one of those things that probably colors one's life from the beginning until the end, if that's really the choice of life.
Absolutely. Well, one scout, forever a scout. So, and be prepared is our motto. And you are right, it is indeed helping us with the resilience during this hard time for my country.
I also want to thank you really from the side of ETF for the commitment you took about a year ago. We had a pleasure to meet in Berlin. You reached us saying, we need your help. We want to start working for the youth guarantee. And there we were in Berlin. You were representing Ukraine government in a major preparatory conference for later in the summer. And it was really you who convinced me and the colleagues that it's time to come to Kiev to join you, really to start looking into the long-term commitment for youth programs. So I want to express my gratitude for that and also illustrate to our viewers how individuals and their commitment can start sort of major programs, which we are going to discuss today.
Well, let me also thank you that you believed in us. Believed in our team, and now it is a big team from government, from business, from civil society, from social partners. We are happy that from really small talk we had in Berlin. We were inspired by ETF activities in different countries, and of course it was as for me quite logic that we requested support from ETF on development of the youth guarantee scheme in our country.
So, in fact, Andriy, we are here meeting in the context of the Ukraine's engagement with ETF for the knowledge sharing program on the European Union Youth Guarantee. And we will be hosting a visit of the Ukraine's interagency working group on youth guarantee to Italy, both to Turin and Rome. Of course, the discussion goes also beyond this initiative. We mark the third year of the full-scale aggression. Ukraine remains determined to rebuild and modernize education, training, employment systems at large. And it's true, ETF has been actively supporting Ukraine through this crisis, but also longer term. So if I ask you, can you somehow describe why Ukraine has prioritized youth guarantee and how it fits within the broader efforts to sustain the skills development, workforce resilience, in particular the resilience of young people?
Mm-hmm. I use different arguments to persuade my colleagues in the government also why we need youth guarantee. For those who are telling that we don't have money to spend, I said this is exactly how budget money could be used more efficiently, and that's why we believe that with the youth guarantee development, we could achieve this synergy first of all, and it will be definitely the youth guarantee will be our priority for a strategy of empowering young people in Ukraine, which is as a part of the national youth strategy, which is the cornerstone for the youth policy that my ministry is responsible within the government. We totally understand that we are not only addressing immediate employment needs, but also laying the foundation for a robust and adaptable workforce ready to contribute to Ukraine's recovery and future growth.
If I move to looking at the EU level and the experiences of the youth guarantee of over 10, almost 15 years, how do you think in this kind of context EU can help Ukraine when developing the actions to support the youth?
Well, first of all, the youth guarantee, this is the EU scheme. So we totally understand the leadership and we expect the leadership of the European Commission for the development of the youth guarantee in Ukraine within our process of accessing the EU. This is one of the best practices in youth employment in the world. This is something that also within the context of technical assistance of the EU could be efficient utilization of resources. And we of course expect also the expansion of opportunities for Ukraine, other different programs like Erasmus Plus, Horizon. And all of that will give opportunities for Ukrainian youth whenever they are, whether those 2 million Ukrainians who are under temporary protection in the EU now, or these millions of Ukrainians who are now staying and working hard for our economy or defending our country in the front line. We are doing this all for them, and of course EU is a key partner in this process for us.
So for our viewers, I think it's important probably to state here about Youth Guarantee that as a European Union policy, it really was resulted as a response to a crisis situation, to an unusual level of youth unemployment after the financial crisis. So it has its somehow DNA also as a response to crisis situations originally. So I would actually therefore ask that because the comprehensive youth guarantee implementation also requires really significant coordination, but also investment. And where do you see here perhaps the main challenges in the Ukrainian context?
Of course, the biggest challenge is the war. So, as you said, the war really destroying our country, destroying the people's lives. But coming back to the youth guarantee, I believe that the biggest challenge is to secure adequate funding for preparation and then launch of the youth guarantee, at least piloting in some regions of Ukraine. It is also very important for us to ensure this interagency cooperation to be really effective at the local and national level. And the third point, I think that the building the adequate capacity of institutions involved in the youth guarantee implementation. We understand that the State Employment Service of Ukraine is a center for the implementation of the youth guarantee. We just need to be well prepared.
This mention of the State Employment Services as a central sort of force to make it happen brings me to the question that we know from experience that career guidance, work-based learning, youth work, all are quite essential elements for bringing young people to the labor market and therefore also for the success of youth guarantee schemes. So is it through the State Employment Services you think that this is best approached in Ukraine?
We are creative in all these spheres. So, with very limited resources, the State Employment Service now, trying to be also digitalized. So they just launched the new application for the job seekers, and I think that it could be useful for the further implementation of the youth guarantee. And for us, the more tools the State Employment Service will elaborate, the better for the outreach. If the war stops today and the recovery process will start, then the shortage of labor force would be 5.5 million people. So we need to think about the youth guarantee for all, for the people with disabilities, people in crisis situation, youth guarantee for young veterans, and every group, they need the special treatment and the understanding.
Let us bring a little bit of the context for our viewers. Everyone, of course, knows that the war has had profound consequences to the labor market and skills development in Ukraine. Here in ETF, we monitor the destruction, and only in the education infrastructure we are talking about perhaps up to 7 billion euro estimation at the moment. And now when we hope we start moving towards the reconstruction, there is of course a question of several million shortages in the workforce, estimations going from 5 to 6, I believe. So how is the government at the moment working with the different partners such as European Union and the European Training Foundation with these challenges? How can we be of support?
Well, you are already supporting us. ETF is working for a long time with our colleagues from Ministry of Education and Science on that, on on upskilling. There are many EU projects that support career counseling, that support youth employment initiative, social entrepreneurship, and so on. So we want to get all this on board with the youth guarantee because we want to see the strengths of the European Union. It's not only political motivation exercise. It is exercise to really to show to the citizens of Ukraine that the European Union is a strong partner of Ukraine. We are grateful for the European Union, for a European Commission, European Training Foundation. The youth guarantee from different points of view is beneficial. It is beneficial for the government. It is beneficial for the local administration, for the communities, and of course it is beneficial for the citizens. It is a part of our recovery. Why? The returnees, those whom we really want to come back from the EU, young people, young Ukrainians who are staying under temporary protection now in the EU member states. We want them back, but we want them to see that, for example, in their community are awaited there, that there is the opportunity for them to get housing, that there is opportunity to get job, to get maybe some local upskilling if it is needed by the local business, and local business is ready to provide it. We had the meeting on Ukrainian human capital resilience, and there was a meeting of HRs of the biggest companies, and they when they heard about youth guarantee, they said, this is what we need. This is one door that opens many opportunities for young people, but the aim of this is very, very strategic and it is very important for Ukraine.
Yeah. We have in conversation with Pilvi Torsti one tradition, and that is that the previous guest who was here, and that was Mario Nava, Director General from Brussels, he has left you a question that I'm now going to ask, and that is, what can we do to reinforce ETF?
This is a good question, and my idea is that ETF also need to be resilient and creative as much as it is possible. But I think that a very important thing is to be digitalized as much as possible, to be closer to your targeted groups, young people, elderly people, veterans. What group you are taking, you need to be closer to them, and you have the specific tools. I would say in modern world you need some specific tools. It's not difficult to elaborate them, but I would say less bureaucracy, more digital.
Thank you very much for that. And of course, when being in Ukraine, one can see that this is huge steps that Ukraine has taken forward in digitalization over these years, out of necessity, but also out of the creativity and innovation. So it's a two-way learning street. I will pass the book to you, ask you to put a question for our next guest. Okay, we don't know who it is, so sure. You'll do it for him or her.
Okay. So...
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andriy, for this and also for this very insightful conversation. Ukraine has not only been addressing the immediate challenges posed by the aggression, but really laying foundations for the resilient and future-proof workforce. And it's, I must say, as a director of ETF and on behalf really of also all the colleagues, that we are very proud to be part of that journey. with the history of ETF in Ukraine for almost 30 years, but really looking ahead to the future. We respect and admire both the commitment and the devotion that you and the people in the team and Ukrainians at large really have shown. And we really work all, of course, for the future of Ukraine. So thank you for you.
Thank you, Pilvi.
And thank you for the audience for being with us today. Stay tuned for more conversations on skills, employment, and the future of work. And stand with Ukraine.